We're going to introduce you to our last presenter, another one of those women's women. Many of you in this room know Lorene Arbus. Some of you may not. She has an extraordinary career of really putting herself where her beliefs are. She is the first woman in the United States to head programming for a national television network. She's done it both for Showtime and for cable health network Lifetime Television. She's an author, a philanthropist, and a relentless advocate for issues she cares about, the arts and disabilities. She pushes the button every chance she has to make life better for people who are disabled. And that's one of the reasons she's here tonight. I'm just going to read you some of her awards because she has been recognized herself. She's received the Heart of Giving presented by Bill Clinton, not bad. And she, too, was one of the 21 leaders for the 21st century, class of 2005. And get that light over to that end of the room. There she is, Lorene Arbus.
Thank you so much, Susan, and thank you, Rita, for bringing together the most extraordinary people. It's so thrilling, and so many activists in one place. Oh my gosh. So I hope you won't leave because there are yet just a few more to go who are equally amazing to those you've met so far. First, may I introduce to you Katherine Acey. Remember when gay and lesbian rights were not even on the radar screen? Meet Katherine Acey, Agent for Change. Estrella is the, I'm confusing with your name, Estrella, they missed the R here. Estrella is the only U.S. it's so well known, we know it's Estrella, even if it's written wrong. Okay. Estrella is the only U.S. foundation dedicated to supporting lesbian-led, transgender, and other anti-bias organizations, and Katherine Acey was its first paid employee in 1987. With her as executive director and now emerita, Estrella went from a volunteer effort to a full-fledged operation with 18 employees, a national board of directors, and a global advisory committee. It has issued nearly $17 million in grants to groups such as the Appalachian Women's Alliance and the Coalition of African Lesbians. Making room for new leadership, Acey now advises Estrella and other organizations working to eliminate gender and sexuality-based discrimination. I am happy I helped foster deeper connections and strategic thinking among those working for social justice feminism, she said. May I present to you Katherine Acey.
Thank you. Thank you. Reflecting on some of the things that have been said earlier, I want to first say I'm not dead. I'm a bit used up after 23 years. But there is still some gas left in the tank. I left Estrella last December, but I have to say that it was my distinct privilege to work for 23 years in an institution that believed in movement building, believed in social justice feminism, not only for lesbians, of which was a core population that we served, but also for all queers and for all people. Estrella Lesbian Foundation for Justice is a long name, but it helped that I didn't have to come out continuously. And also, justice was pretty clear what we're about, for all people. We talk, still we have queer, I'm going to say queer. It's lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, genderqueer. There's many, many different things. We're a very big community. Well, on the radar, queer issues are still not recognized, and sadly, not even in some of our progressive organizations. I'm very happy to say that many of the folks here tonight, many I know, friends and colleagues who have supported me and many others, I could not do this work without them, some at this very table. But also I'm happy to say that many of the groups that Estrella has supported over these 23 years are also working in communities, and on many of the issues that have been expressed, working in communities, organizing with Muslims, organizing around disability rights, anti-violence. So it's not what we hear about only about marriage, important to have equal rights, not only about being able to serve in the military, but other issues that are under the radar. I also want to just recount a story that I've talked about at different times in trying to explain to my father, who's no longer with us, and my mother way before him, trying to explain what we'd have our annual conversation about, now explain to me what it is you do. And he was very proud of me, but my sister was a teacher. It was a little easier for her. She was an art teacher. He didn't understand her abstract art, but nonetheless. So I would say that I go out and I speak on behalf of social justice, feminism. I didn't use those words exactly, but I'm working for lesbian and gay rights, women's rights, and that requires traveling across the country to other countries, speaking as an advocate, and also raising money. And you say, you ask people for money, and yes, Dad, because we were never supposed to ask people for money. And he said, they give you money? Dad? Actually, I said Daddy, but when you're 50 or 60, you don't want to say that publicly. Yes, Daddy, yes, some do give, and sadly some don't. So we would go through this ritual, and finally I started to try to break it down. And language, media, communication, very important. And I used the words human rights. And as I explained the fundraising, the working for human rights, he said, oh, you do what Eleanor Roosevelt used to do. And so I like to tell that story, and perhaps if he were here today, he would say, oh, you do what Swanee Hunt or Michelle Bachelet does, or what Women eNews. So thank you so much to Women eNews for getting the stories out, for inspiring, enraging, and telling the stories of the work we do and bringing us together. Thank you so very much.